Okay, I took apart a brand new 700 watt microwave oven. Here's a 1000 watt heating that's going to be added later to build here a test setup of a big microwave oven. Because I think I need to kill the wood worms in the that I did saw last year for this new roof. And if this now succeeds, I will make a 7.5 meter long microwave oven with three of them, so three phase, so 3000 watt of heating and 200 and 100, 2100 watt of microwave. I will show you the inside later afterwards. Just for now, this is not a Faraday cage. I think. There is 1 millimeter of aluminium in these broken solar panels, and there's a wood with aluminium foil wrapped inside. And yeah, technically here the screws do connect the sides, but a Faraday cage would be a complete electrical same potential, same for to cancel the incoming waves from the front and the back side. Therefore, they need to be electric. And this is not meant as a Faraday cage, and I think that's not needed because it's from should protect from the inside to the outside. And therefore, the microwaves only need to be reflected, and therefore we need this metal inside so that they always get reflected. And the wavelengths, I think, it's about 12 centimeters, so they cannot sneak through and still. And so, yeah, this should may work, but when I put a smartphone inside with the VLAN hotspot, there was still signal strength outside. But this also works here. If you put a smartphone in here, well, close the door, then the signal strength only goes from very good to good. But if you make an internet call or if you try to call the phone, then the phone was not online. So it's the radiation getting inside that's blocked by the Faraday cage. But from the outside, that depends on the wavelengths of the electrical magnetic wavelengths. And you see here inside, you see these grid also protects. Not only the transformator, the capacitor, and the magnetron. And now I will show you the two EMF meters. Yeah, one of my Paper Street soap companies. Here that was a vacuum project. Here is a hydrothermal carbonization project. Yeah, new adapters for my gasifier fan. And of course, yeah, it's a shithole because Paper Street Soap Company has to. Here, these are the two. One, this looks very nice, nice display, but it only measures the volt per meter and the Gauss per meter. So it's not a power or a dense energy, whereas this one, it indeed measures a watt per square meter, and I think that's where also when it gets deadly. I will just demonstrate here a small microwave, a 500 watt. So the left one, yes, now it says danger, but here it can go to 1 point, and it's here close to the opening. I think that's the most. You see this really nice, but it's only electrical magnetical field and not the energy density, which really would heat up or boil your cells. So I think this one is a better one because it is here, and now this is I think 1000 watt. And immediately here this goes crazy. And it's a bit bigger, so 2 watt per square meter. And Okay, now I here will simply start this, so there's no cooling. So 300 watt of heat being produced by this magnetron, so I only can make a short test. But you see right now I only want to see if I can get close before here this it tells me so deadly. So here now turning on, and yeah, here immediately some, but the watts is safe. And now you see I simply will go close and see if it's safe. And yeah, microton and nothing showing. So now I here see a bit, and okay, I don't really like to go further, but yeah, this looks to be safe. You see with the other microwave you saw 2 watt per square meter in the same distance, and so yeah, didn't make noise. So okay, this is because here's a lot of electricity. Okay, turn it off, and yeah, okay, it was somehow connected to this. Yeah, this might be there's not the filter for the frequency getting into the grid. I will show you. I don't need this any longer. Oh, smelling inside. Perhaps you did cook something, and you see that's missing. That's why there was the electromagnetic field back to the grid, but that was the thing. It was important. Okay, seems to be successful. Now let's see if it did produce some heat inside, and I will show you what it's made of. Because here this wood, that's very wet wood, and so the question is also if it's getting hot. I will take this out because the magnetron and the transformator would also need to be shielded from the field. And okay, it was only a few seconds, and so I don't think. Yeah, here it's warm. So upside here it's warm. This is really, let's say 30-40 degree, and so as I said, you see that's wood, but it's wrapped with aluminium foil, and so this seems to work. And here as a metal cage, no aluminium, because well, it's hard to get a Faraday cage with aluminium, because aluminium quickly turns into aluminium oxide, and oxide is no longer a conductor, whereas metal stays a conductor. So you see that's the magnetron already getting warm. This is going to be here a tube for in air, a fan, and three of them in series for the 3 phase, and here the air going out. And this will be a small microwave oven which is pulled through the entire length, but with some thermal insulation, so that this small section can heat up more easily, and also some reflections for the microwaves. But of course the wood, the logs will go all the way, and therefore some lot of radiation will go through the wood into the entire 7.5 meter cage, and so the heat will dissipate over the entire 7.5 meter. But you see, it's this law that the distance to the square of the distance, one divided by the square of the distance. So you see, if the radiation here now was 1 watt, then double, it would only be a quarter of watt, and if you double it again, it would only be a quarter of a quarter. And so you see, that's why it was safe to start from a long distance, even if it would not have worked. And since here with the protection go closer, So yeah, it's quite simply. It's just a transformator. Now I must not touch here the capacitor, because the capacitor could still have a 2000 volt. That's dangerous. And yeah, the magnetron. This is I first bought a used 1200 watt microwave for 10 euro, but it was very old, and these get worn, and so this was a cheap one, 55 or no 50 euro including shipping, so I can afford 3 of them, and so I assume that the 700 watt magnetron will be available cheaply also in 10 years, and so this can be replaced after some 1,000 hours capacitor. So it's quite simply, and here simply 3 in series and 3 phase, so I can power 3 of them with one cable, and some additional heating maybe. And yeah, I really was not sure, because you see, as I said, put in a hotspot and there was no shielding at all, but that I think is the difference between the Faraday cage, where it's come about electrical magnetic field getting inside, or what's it called in English? This is the mirroring. You see, the microwaves always get mirrored at a metal shield, and therefore this aluminium. You see, I've got lots of them for all the kinds, and yeah, here that's my gasifier with a heat exchanger, and here the fan, and here I need the adapter to print again, because it did break, and then I can cook on this. It's really working fine. It's just 10 minutes to heat up, and then 50 minutes later you have your meal ready. Okay, that's the microwave experience, not to repeat it by anyone. With your own risk, you see, as I was also really, maybe the radiation is doing some harm to me, because you see, it's brand new, but 2 of them, and they really told me it's quite safe, and so the machine will be upside there, and so I always be at least 5 meters, 10 meters distance, and so yeah, I think it's going to work. Now I'll be playing basketball, and then my wood gasifier. Bye bye.